homecoming day in Murray. The Murray State Racers host a regional rival, the 17th-ranked Southern Illinois Salukis, a rivalry that's been one-sided since 2002. 5 straight wins for the Salukis over the last 2 decades. They are looking to keep their FCS postseason hopes alive. The Racers are playing the part of spoiler with the regular season coming to a conclusion later this month. With that, we welcome you high above the gridiron from Murray. Casey Rowe with Coach Rob Cross on hand. So glad you're with us. Over the course of this season, Southern Illinois has steamrolled opposing defenses. They've stymied DCs. Murray State's been close. They've had the opportunity. What's the opportunity for them got to look like today to take down the Salukis?
You know, Casey, right now, SIU has an opportunity. Every week they're going to get the opportunity to advance to the playoffs. Every game's a playoff game. They have the 14th best rushing offense in the country. Murray State ranks dead last in the nation in run defense. They're going to have to junk up things and really a lot of stunts on their defensive line to slow down this vaunted rushing attack of SIU.
And that rushing game is led by DJ Williams, a former racer. He's back in Murray for a homecoming of his own.
Yeah, the 6'3", 218-pound DJ Williams has a chance for his own homecoming party here today in Roy Stewart Stadium. DJ is number 7 in the nation at total offense, one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the country. Murray State's got to contain him and do whatever they can to keep him from getting outside the pocket and making plays on his own.
He's on the Walter Payton watch list for the best FCS player in the country as the last few weeks of regular season play across the country wind down. Murray State, meanwhile, has had some excellence from Jim Ogle, but on the other end, a lot of inconsistency. How does he shore that up?
Yeah, the redshirt freshman quarterback has really improved every week this season. But I'll tell you, Casey, he's got to stop turning the football over. 12 interceptions on the season. Has really had a great game against number 2 ranked South Dakota State with over 300 yards passing, but threw 4 touchdowns, 3 in his own end zone.
Getting set to start the homecoming festivities here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Southern Illinois won the opening coin toss and chose to receive, something Tim Hill has talked about being a staple of this season's team, starting early and often, which means we get an opportunity to see Vincent Davis on the return side, bringing it shy the 30-yard line, which is where Southern Illinois starts its offense this evening.
Yeah, look for Murray State early to get out and change up what they've done defensively and throw a lot of things, throw the kitchen sink at Southern Illinois' offense.
There's a look at DJ Williams, the former Ohio Valley Conference Freshman of the Year with the Racers 4 years ago. He's been outstanding with the Salukis in his first year as the full-time starter under Tim Hill's side. Williams on the RPO, flips it out wide, and a couple-yard gain for Vincent Davis III. He's been one of the top slot receivers in the country this season.
Yeah, he's number 1 in the nation in receptions right now, with 600, number 1 in the Missouri Valley Conference, my fault, and 653 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is DJ Williams' favorite target.
Getting a chance to talk with Tim Hill, he praised Davis's abilities to not only be a slot receiver, but to play all 3 spots out on the line of scrimmage, even in the backfield at times. He starts in the backfield, cuts up right side and breaks through the pylon. The fumble out of bounds does not result in a turnover on downs or a change of possession. It is a first down to the Salukis.
And expect to see a lot of that today. Southern Illinois will look to get out on the edge. Murray State has to have a lot of defensive discipline where they set the edge and define where the field of play.
2 receptions for Davis, 18 yards. Williams on the keeper. Cuts it up the middle, and he's cut down by Conley Crosno after a gain of a couple.
You know, and he's a big guy, Casey. He's going to always fall forward getting extra yards for his team.
An FCS National Offensive Player of the Week earlier this year, DJ Williams, in a rivalry game of his own against Southeastern Missouri State. regional rivalry this evening against the Racers underneath the rain here in Murray. Williams down the sideline. Davis was the intended target. Lots of congestion with Brian Pulley holding his ground.
You know, one thing, this Murray State defense has struggled statistically, but at the back end, on the edge, the cornerbacks, the safeties, their young linebackers have really played well, Casey.
This is where Southern Illinois has done well. Meanwhile, speaking of being able to be consistent, 8th in the country in third down efficiency, just under 50%. Williams, pressure coming. Right side, and it's Fabian McCray answering the call past the sticks.
Yeah, and there's an example. Brian Pulley, good coverage on the outside, but DJ Williams finds his target just across the line to gain. And this Murray State is dead last in the country in three-point conversion defense. They give up over 58% on the season.
Second most passing yards allowed in the MVFC entering play today. The ball has been in Williams' hands for all 5 plays from scrimmage. He gives it off to Mario. Cutting right side, past the line, gains 13 on the ground.
Yeah, and you saw that time Murray State's defense allowed Mario to get outside the hash. Really, they've got to do a better job of forcing everything inside where they could junk things up.
Nick Hill called the Division II transfer Mario one of the best east-west runners that he has coached in his 10 years in Carbondale. On the ground for the first time, one of the 3 backs that Southern Illinois will feature is bottled up for a loss. That was Chandler Chapman, who was met by a flurry of racers.
Yeah, and big-time stop that time by Jaden Walker.
Walker first there. Cameron Daniels also was there to make sure nothing further happened. First negative play of the day for the Salukis as we take a look at Coach Nick Hill. Back calling the plays after a couple years of overseeing the team as a whole, but back also calling plays on offense. Williams downfield, zips it over the top of Davis.
Yeah, just lost that one. Not near any of his receivers. Good coverage that time on the back end by Murray State.
Another quick third down for the Salukis coming. They just converted from 9 yards out a few moments ago.
This could be a big momentum play for this Murray State defense if they can get a stop here.
Robinson into the backfield. They swing it out that way. Edward Robinson lowers the shoulder and powers toward the sticks.
Yeah,
that's smash mouth football.
Once he turned upfield, Eddie Robinson put his shoulder straight toward the north end zone and just plowed through Dylan Rousey to get the first down.
One of the top pure running backs in the MVFC. He's made his value known this season in the pass game, operating in that 2-way running back formation with Chandler Chapman.
Yeah, both very versatile backs for this Saluki offense.
They go on the ground to Robinson, who slips a tackle and gains a couple after initially being stopped at the line.
Yeah, the middle linebacker, Clayton Ingram, came up, got penetration, past the line of scrimmage, just couldn't hold on to him.
Southern Illinois is a big proponent of starting games early with early scores. They did that last week in the win against UNI. First 3 drives resulted in scores.
And Murray State, conversely, has really struggled to start games this season.
Williams down the sideline, underthrown, and that sets up another third down.
And good,
that was Dylan Rousey in
on the right side of the field by Dylan Rousey. Yes, sir.
who's targeting Aiden Quinn, who is playing with a little bit of a club on his left hand, broke his hand last year.
Yeah, the tight end. Hey, he's got a broken hand. Had a big catch for a touchdown last week, though, so it doesn't look like it hampered him.
Can the Racers come up with a stop on third down? They've been unable to on 2 attempts. Williams zips it. McCray answers the call again. Second time he's got the Fabian McCray on third down.
And McCray, just a nice little slant right there. Found an open spot in the defense, and Williams delivered the football right on time.
His third stop in college football, began his career at Northern Illinois. Made a quick cameo at Jackson State in the SWAC, and now he's made a way to Carbondale to call the Salukis home. Williams to go on the ground. He calls his own number. DJ Williams toward the pylon. Marked a few yards out, but the Salukis in business inside the 5.
Yeah, and there you see the wheels of DJ Williams. He just got out as you see this replay. Wide side of the field. Murray State does not define the edge. And DJ Williams able to turn the corner. Gets to the 2-yard line for a 1st and goal, Southern Illinois.
Marion Pons and Shaden Shannon may have saved the touchdown with Williams turning the corner. Williams calls his own number again. Surges toward the goal line. Initial call, he is stopped about a half a yard shy. Half a yard and maybe a couple playing cards in terms of depth.
Yeah, there's no question. He tried to dive underneath the defenders and just fell a little short.
Now it's Krosno there, making sure he made that one-on-one stop.
Krosno, with the freshman, with 56 tackles on the season, and DJ Williams really should have just plowed right through him.
Williams, they tried to go the direct sneak route, and again he stopped shy.
And that was the old tush push right there, Casey. And Murray State did a nice job stunning on the defensive front and chopped down the offensive lineman.
Looks like there is a flag thrown for the first time. We'll hear from Gregory Goff this evening.
And that might explain, Casey, how Jaden Walker got in there to cut the offensive line down.
And there he is right on the edge.
Across the line of scrimmage.
Drive that's already taken up half of the first quarter. Williams. Off a tackle into the end zone. Happy homecoming, DJ Williams, the former racer, into the end zone.
Yeah, I'm sure he's excited about coming in here on homecoming. You know, the big guy just lowered his shoulder, put his back into the defender, and just drove through the end zone. That's a senior, a 5th-year senior, meeting a freshman right there, and he just bowls him over into the end zone.
Those are integrity-building moments for Clayton Ingram as he goes throughout his collegiate career.
Yeah, the young man has a promising future. There's no doubt about it. But that's the difference between a grown man at 21, 22 years old and an 18-year-old freshman.
Paul Halen knocks it through. And Southern Illinois caps off a 15-play, 7-minute, 23-second drive with DJ Williams plunging into the end zone.
Yeah, look at the power in those legs, just churning, turned his back and just pushed him right through about 3 yards into the end zone.
So the question of whether or not SIU could answer early, that was answered pretty quick. And now a big problem with what Murray State has had to deal with a lot this year, Rob. Playing from behind early. Jody Wright has talked about needing to start quick and to start fast. They scored on their first drive of the game last week against Youngstown State. What do they need to do to replicate that here?
Well, they've got to, first thing they have to do is they have to get ahead of the sticks. You know, you've got to come out on first down and get positive yardage, and that's one thing where they've struggled. They get behind the sticks. They have a chance to make explosive plays with Darius Cannon and J.K. Carter over the top, and Northington, and Washington are just, they're outstanding backs, but that offensive line has to really bold up and just open up holes for this offense.
First time we get to see Paul Halen kick off, a bit of a triple threat. He punts, he kicks, and he also is the kickoff specialist. The up man there, Brooks Kleinpeter, fields the fair catch at the 25. And that's where we get to see Jim Ogle and the Racers offense go to work for the first time this evening. There have been a lot of promising moments for Ogle. The MVFC opening game here at Roy Stewart Stadium this season had 2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. The only problem is that he's been really inconsistent throughout the course of his season.
Yeah, and there you see last week, 11 of 20 at Youngstown State. TD and an interception, and I talked about it earlier. They had South Dakota State on the ropes here, but threw 3 interceptions in the end zone, and that's got to be part of his progression, Casey, as he moves through his career.
Jawan Northington picks up 3 on the ground. It is senior, check that, it is homecoming day. He was recognized as part of the homecoming court before the game festivities began. Ogle back onto the ground. There's the first time Darius Cannon gets his number called. Surges past the sticks. Man, he's turned into a weapon both on the line of scrimmage and in the backfield in his first year at Murray.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The University of Kentucky transfer, number 3 in the nation in receptions. That's his 53rd. He's got about 511 yards receiving on the season and is a big play threat.
Former SEC guy, Darius Cannon. Speaking of the SEC, there's a look at Jody Wright, former assistant at Alabama. Lucas Desjardins unable to come up with a zip over the middle from Ogle.
Yeah, and that was good delivery by Ogle. Maybe a little behind Desjardins. You want to lead him so he's catching it in stride upfield on that slant. But that's one that Murray State's going to wish they had back. That should have been first down at about the 50-yard line.
Ogle played in garbage time in the matchup last year against the Salukis. Threw 2 interceptions in relief. A game the Racers would like to erase from memory. A 62-0 loss. Ogle down the middle. J.K. Carter unable to haul it in.
And that's another one. Good throw by Ogle. J.K. Carter wide open coming across the middle. Has it in his hands, just bobbles it and loses it. And with the rain starting to come down, maybe the ball's slick, but you've got to secure the football if it hits you in the hands as a receiver.
2 plays that Jody Wright will say Desjardins and Carter typically make. Those would have been 2 first down catches. First third down of the game for the Racers. Ogle with pressure coming. Right side, hauled in. Carter on the run down the sideline. And a big play from Murray State's biggest play threat.
Yeah, J.K. Carter can really take the top off of a defense. When he finally came back for this team a few games ago, he really changed the complexion of this offense.
Murray State's been mired offensively in third down woes. Second lowest third down conversion percentage. They get their first of the game. Northington zigzags shy of the 20.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I like. Northington, he saw contact coming. He lowered his shoulder pads and just rocked the SIU defender.
Jawan Northington, one of the few returning Racers from last season's Murray State team that got walloped 62-zip at Carbondale at 6 carries.
And Northington at 5'9", 217 can really pack a punch.
Ogle flushed out, somehow got away from Jeremiah McClendon coming off the edge to get that ball away.
Yeah, McClendon is a big-time cornerback for SIU. Ogle did a great job escaping him. As you see here, Ogle rolls out. Dangerous throw right there with somebody hanging on to his jersey, but Ogle able to throw the ball away.
3rd and short for Murray State. With Northington in the backfield, they go on the ground to Northington, who's met immediately shy of the line.
Yeah, that was Vinny Pierre Jr. coming up from the safety spot. 49 tackles now on the season. Junior from Belgrade, Florida. Stopped it. I think Murray State's probably going to go for it here. You know,
have to expect.
They're really trying to send a message.
You'd have to expect that Murray State's going to need to go for a lot of these 4th and short with how Southern Illinois' offense has operated this year. On the ground, there's Jordan Washington. Can he push the pile? Close toward the line. It's going to depend on the spot.
I think he's going to be a little bit short the way they were running in from the side.
It is a turnover on downs. Southern Illinois' defense comes up big on 4th and short. SIU comes up on offense and comes up on defense late in this first quarter here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Pass its first test on 4th and short.
Yeah, 9-play, 54-yard drive by Murray State. Ends up short on 4th down as Jawan Northington just gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Turnover on down. Southern Illinois will take over at the 20-yard line.
And Southern Illinois gets another drive after taking up half of the first quarter on its opening possession of the game. Resulted in that DJ Williams touchdown.
Yeah, DJ Williams was 6 of 9 for 57 yards through the air, and then had the long run on that he got, ran out of bounds at the 2-yard line. But Murray State really failed to set the edge defensively and allowed him to get around the corner. And then he plowed over Clayton Ingram at the goal line.
Looks like Murray State's expending a challenge. We'll be back in a few moments here from Roy Stewart Stadium.
Baby. last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Southern Illinois University has a rich history and much more. Renowned for cutting-edge research, ranking among the top 4% in the country, Salukis achieve pride and glory, competing at the highest level. World-famous alumni across the globe. United in our mission with unstoppable momentum, igniting a bright future. This is a university ascending. We are Southern.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Yeah, oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. Go hard.
So the call on the field a few moments ago is upheld. Jody Wright attempted to challenge the spot of that last Murray State 4th down attempt. It is 1st and 10 for the Salukis at the 20. And it's Chandler Chapman starting the drive out of the backfield. Lowers the shoulder and is met in the secondary after a pickup of 12.
Yeah, the Mississippi Gulf Coast transfer at 5'11", 210 has jets and power.
Bit of a pipeline established from MGCC to SIU. One of the top running backs in SIU history, Larry Warner, is a former Bulldog in Mississippi's Gulf Coast Community College history. Was a big part of Chapman's recruitment to Carbondale before he began his junior year.
You know, DJ Williams accounted for 72 yards on his first drive back in Roy Stewart Stadium in Murray, Kentucky since 2023 when he played here.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty. First down.
A false start on Blaine Halley. He's been the starting left tackle for the Salukis ever since week 5 when Coleon Smith left the Indiana State matchup with an injury.
Yeah, and this Southern Illinois offensive line is really massive for this level. Halley's 6'7", 300 pounds. Is really kind of average. I mean, on that line. So they have great size. They certainly dwarf the Murray State defensive front, and they've been able to open up holes so far tonight and control the line of scrimmage.
Can you imagine that in the census? 6'7", 300 pounds. Hey, you're average, by the way.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's a different world nowadays, but Missouri Valley Conference football, you really have to have those big guys up front on both sides of the football.
Above average in everyday life, maybe just a little average in the MVFC. DJ Williams has been anything but average this year as SIU's quarterback. They go back on the ground to Eddie Robinson, who gained some of those yards back to set up 3rd and medium.
Yeah, and the Duquesne transfer made a nice little cut from the left to right to hit the hole that time. Good hard run by Eddie Robinson.
SIU just under 50% in 3rd down efficiency this season. They were 2 for 2 on 3rd downs in their first drive of this quarter. Low snap, Williams over the middle, deflected. He was going for Davis. Murray State comes up with a stop on defense for the first time.
Yeah, and that was a big deflection that time by Spencer Kahn, a 5'11", 245-pound freshman. There are a lot of freshmen in the middle of this Murray State defense, and that's one of them. Comes off the bench, does an outstanding job to Spencer Kahn to get his hand on that DJ Williams pass and tip it away.
First pass breakup for Kahn in MVFC play this season. And for the first time, here's Paul Halen, triple threat, kickoff specialist, kicker, and punter. Couple bounces handled by Darius Cannon, who picks up maybe a couple before forward progress is stopped at the 25.
Yeah, good safe decision by Cannon to scoop that up. And we'll be right back after this. You're watching Missouri Valley Conference football on ESPN.
Late in the first quarter of play here at Roy Stewart Stadium on homecoming day in Murray. The rain's been coming down. Murray State came down with a big defensive stop on 3rd and medium to set up Jim Ogle and the Racers offense for the second time this evening.
And that's what Murray State has to do. They really have to get stops on 3rd down and get their defense off the field and get this offense, which is one of the most electric passing offenses in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Jalen Richmond hauls in his first catch. Number 8 picks up 8 through the air. No team in the MVFC throws more than Murray State. At times it's yielded success. A lot of times it's yielded some issues with the interceptions. First time we get to see Baxter Wright in the backfield for the Racers, a two-dimensional quarterback. They go on the ground and nowhere going for Murray State's Caleb Bailey.
Yeah, and it looked like he was going to pull up and throw the ball that time, Casey. Murray State trying to go with a little trickeration early. As you see Bailey come off, yeah, he definitely wants to throw the football. Receivers are not open. He wisely, instead of turning the ball over, just go ahead and accept the result and get down.
3rd down and 3 to go.
2 quarterbacks in the backfield. All 3 quarterbacks have played on this drive.
Yeah, and you kind of expected to see a couple of quarterbacks, and now you've got 2 of them on the field at the same time.
Ogle close to the line to gain. J.K. Carter able to move the sticks.
Yeah, J.K. Carter just past the sticks, turned around and posted up, and that's what veterans do. And he's a graduate transfer, and he got across the sticks, and that's important. Get across the line to gain on 3rd down. and make sure your team has an opportunity for a first down.
Second time the Racers have converted on third down. Both times have gone Carter's way. Brooks Kleinpeter across the formation. Washington on the ground, upended after a pickup of 5.
Yeah, good little misdirection play that time by Murray State. Gets ahead of the sticks now at 2nd and 5.
That was Chris Presto who stood his ground to make the stop. He's getting a lot more minutes recently with Andrew Bain still out for the 4th week.
And that's Presto is one fast dude. Watching tape on him, he really closes on the ball quickly.
Very experienced linebacking group with the Salukis. Presto in that same boat, the junior this season. Ogle quick over the middle. There's Carter again getting his number called.
J.K. Carter making a difference in this game early for Murray State. Little play action there to Washington and gives Carter time to get past the yard to gain, and Murray State gets out and gets a first down as they are across midfield into Saluki territory.
At the end of the first, Murray State piecing together a bit of a drive. Can they get something going? Second quarter comes your way next at Roy Stewart Stadium.
Lights, camera, racer. USA's homecoming parade float countdown.
Of the Missouri Valley Football Conference is powered by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Looking at the Murray State All-American Wall of Fame underneath Roy Stewart Stadium. A lot of notable racers earning All-American accolades over the last few years. Alec Long, Jack Wyatt most recently. Murray State's got a few potential standouts in the future that could potentially make their way onto that wall of fame. There's J.K. Carter. Man, he's been all over the place today.
He has. They've really gone to him. Jim Ogle seems to be relying on him in this game as kind of his security blanket, and Carter has really turned in a great performance through the first quarter of this game.
After that drop, Rob, in that first drive, he's made catches in his last 4 targets.
Every ball that's been thrown his way as the rain's really coming down hard here in Murray, Kentucky, he's been able to pull in, and that time he bobbles that one and still hauls it in.
He loses 3. That's Colin Bohannick, the Mike linebacker, who's been the heartbeat of SIU's defense all season.
Yeah, stat perform preseason All-American. Bohannick is a big time player.
Oh, he talked about State Farm being like a good neighbor. Look at those neighborly little umbrellas there, making sure you don't get too wet.
Yeah, that's one thing. This was labeled as one of the friendliest towns in America, and everybody sharing their umbrellas with their neighbor.
3rd down and long for Murray State. 1 for 3 on 3rd today. Carter in tight coverage draws a flag.
And we're way up here on top of the field, but from our vantage point, that looked like great coverage by Bohannick that time. But I think he might have got his left arm wrapped around the waist of J.K. Carter. Look at Bohannick. He looks like he just would love to play football in the rain. Get off this turf stuff, play in the mud.
Defense, number 16. The ball we played at the spot foul.
Carter on the crossing route, you see that left arm of Bohannick just came around his waist just a little bit. Outside official staring right at it.
There's 1 penalty in all of last year's meeting between these two teams. 5 already. We just started the 2nd quarter.
You know, and this Murray State team going into the Youngstown State game last week was the least penalized team in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, and I believe the least penalized team in the country. And then they had 12 penalties at Youngstown State. So that's one thing Jody Wright's team has done. They've been extremely disciplined and making sure that they don't hurt themselves with penalties.
That was Jordan Washington's first carry of this drive. He gained 6. Ogle swings it out. There's Washington. Jordan Washington into the secondary, into the red zone, and the Racers are piecing together something in this early stage of the 2nd.
Yeah, this is a nice drive they have going on right here, and Washington gets to the edge that time to the wide side of the field. That was his 14th catch of the season for about 162, 163 yards now after that one.
He has been Murray State's featured back in the pass game. Ogle on the ground. Bohannick among the many Salukis who were there on the stop. And that has been something Jim Ogle has showcased at times this year in conference play, the ability to run the football.
The last few games, he's really done a nice job of becoming more of a two-way threat. And you know, the coaches, I talk to the coaching staff, and they talk about how he's got wheels. He's just been a little banged up starting out the season, so they were trying to make sure that he doesn't take off and run too much. But healthy and really showcasing his legs, especially against South Dakota State. Picked up a couple of big first downs in that game.
Ogle over the middle, it's picked. SIU comes up with its first defensive pick of the game. With a convoy, it's C.J. Parson. Parson was there, his 2nd pick of the season. And the Salukis again come up with another stop on defense.
Yeah, and we've got a flag down on the field back on the left side, Casey.
Parson jumped the route. Carter was there. There is a flag. We'll see what Gregory Goff and co. comes up with.
Southern Illinois. That's their first of the game. Timeout on the field.
It is a sideline warning, not a defensive penalty. It is SIU football in Murray State territory when we return early in this 2nd quarter from Roy Stewart Stadium.
Everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked. Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row.
From the logo.
State Farm with the assist.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up. And we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/bearacer.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Any last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
No team in the Missouri Valley Football Conference has thrown more red zone interceptions than the Racers. Their fourth of the season sets up the Salukis, and Chandler Chapman starts this third drive of the game with a run inside the 30 as we look at that last pick from C.J. Parson.
Yeah, and Casey, you know, this is the thing that Jim Ogle has to grow. He has to get better at this. He just throws the ball right into coverage, right into C.J. Parsons' hands. He was 6 of 8 for 62 yards on that drive. Took up 5 minutes and 38 seconds. And then you turn the ball over in the red zone, and now Southern Illinois is in business at your 30-yard line.
The Racers' kryptonite today has been working inside the 25-yard line. Their first drive ended in a turnover on downs and 4th and short, and then a red zone pick a moment ago.
And that's really been a bugaboo for this team during this season.
Speaking of bugaboos, DJ Williams has pestered tons of defenses all year with his two-way play. He picks up the first down on the ground.
Yeah, and Dylan Rousey converges over there as he's turning the corner on the wide side of the field to knock him out of bounds. But, you know, those tackles, when your safety is leading your team in tackles, and by that much as Dylan Rousey is, he's got about 99 tackles on the season. Well, he's over 100 now after this game. And, you know, that's just not a great thing for your defense.
Leads the FCS in solos, third in the country in total tackles. Williams off the misdirection. Cuts it back inside the 10. Shuttles his way inside the 5. And the Salukis once again are piecing together another potential scoring drive.
Yeah, this time it starts in Murray State territory as they get the ball on the 30-yard line. They've driven it down to about the 5, just outside the 5-yard line for 1st and goal, Casey.
Longest run of the day for Williams, 12 yards.
But it's the fact that he's getting 8, 10, 12 yards a carry. I mean, he's everywhere he's gone, unless they got him like right at the line of scrimmage, he's been able to find the edge and turn the corner.
Williams on the ground. LaShawn Lester is stacked up at the line. First time he's been called upon at the line of scrimmage today.
Yeah, and he's a smaller, compact guy, about 5'10", 215, 220 pounds, and he's a power runner that has a little bit of burst too. He's somebody who can really make a play for this team, although he hasn't been called on to do a whole lot this season.
He's the only returning back in SIU's stable from last year that routinely sees playing time.
You know, that was his 28th carry on the season. He's got 194, 195 yards after that carry. You know, they just have so many backs that are so versatile.
Mount. Southern Illinois. So first of the half. So be a 30-second timeout.
Nick Hill burns his first timeout of the half. The Salukis are threatening. Can they punch in a second touchdown in this first half? Back in a moment from Roy Stewart Stadium. It pours if you're a Murray State fan. It is coming down hard in Southern Illinois, knocking on the door of what could be a second touchdown drive. DJ Williams stacked up at the line. Jaden Walker was there to make sure nothing further happened to bring up 3rd and goal.
And the good news for Murray State is they were able to drag DJ Williams down with basically no gain on that play. The bad news is it's 3rd down.
SIU's touchdown came on 3rd down.
And Murray State dead last in the nation on 3rd down conversion defense.
Top 10 3rd down offense against a 3rd down defense, which has had much to be desired. Williams to the air, pressure coming toward the back of the end zone. Fabian McCray was the closest to it. And the Racers come up with a big stop on 3rd down to hold Salukis to a field goal.
Yeah, a couple of good stunts up front. Murray State was able to get penetration. You see right here, a defensive lineman comes across, and then big-time play to force DJ Williams to throw that ball out of the back of the end zone. And that was Kobe Roberts getting in there, getting the hurry on DJ Williams and really forcing the action.
First field goal attempt for Paul Halen. This is from 23 yards. Halen knocks it through. One of the best percentage kickers in the country, number 10 in the FCS in field goal percentage entering today. 10-6 Salukis. Inside 8.5 to play in this first half of play from Murray.
Caitlin Clark from the logo.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked! Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row.
From the logo.
State Farm with the assist.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up. And we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/bearacer.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting bait man when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Any last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
Seven-play drive for Southern Illinois off the Jim Ogle interception. Ends in 3. A 23-yard field goal from Paul Halen. Not a lot of smiles here in Murray on homecoming day. A few smiles from a former racer, DJ Williams. Paul Halen sends it into the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, and the big thing, that was a big stop by the Murray State defense that time. The much maligned third down defense of Murray State stood tall. Kobe Roberts got in the backfield, forced DJ Williams to throw the ball faster than he wanted to. He had to throw it out of the end zone so SIU could come out with points. And now Murray State has a chance. If they can drive down the field and get some points here, keep this thing within a one-score game. Very, very important for this Murray State team going into the half.
And Rob, the Racers' drives, their first 2 drives, they've been able to sustain drives, but as soon as they get within the 25-yard line, that's where things have started to kind of crumble for Murray State.
Yeah, they move the ball up and down the field, but once you get into the red zone, they've really struggled.
Ogle over the middle, a lot of congestion there. He was going for Desjardins.
Yeah, Lucas Desjardins, 6'4", just over 200 pounds, a big target right there. But there's just too much, like you said, congestion. SIU's defense in great position. They're right there on top of the receiver when Ogle releases the football.
Jacker Williams, a former standout wide receiver in high school, has played 3 different positions defensively this year: linebacker, safety, and corner. Going on the ground, and the Racers are stacked up. A loss of a few yards. That was Peyton Reeves, one of 2 Reeves brothers on the SIU front 7 to make the stop.
Yeah, Peyton and Caden Reeves do a nice job on that defensive front for SIU. Darius Cannon went in motion that time, slid up into the backfield, and then peeled out on the right side to the wide side of the field. Did not fool SIU's defense at all as Murray State tried to go with a little misdirection off of that motion by Darius Cannon.
3rd and 13 for the Racers. Ogle. Right side, looking for Carter, nearly picked. J.K. Carter in one-on-one coverage. Yeah, and that was Williams.
And that's J.K. Carter, the defensive back, because he did a phenomenal job of ripping that ball away. As you see this replay here, and you're going to see J.K. Carter turn into Deion Sanders, the cornerback.
Sometimes the best defense is making sure that the corners don't get picked.
Yeah, Williams had inside position the whole time. Ball a little underthrown, and J.K. Carter did an outstanding job there for Murray State.
First punt of the day for Tom O'Hara, top punter in terms of average per punt. Tay Mario had a punt return touchdown last week against UNI. Cuts it out toward the 50, and prime starting field position for the Salukis. There is a flag on the return just outside midfield. A lot of flags in this first half. 1 penalty all of last year's matchup.
When it's 62-0, there's not a whole lot that the referees are going to call.
Number four. Down.
It's a holding penalty on Vinny Pierre Jr. on the return.
Yeah, and that'll move SIU back into their own territory, but still in great field position. About where Temario caught the football at about the 40-yard lines, resting right at the 41, I believe, of Southern Illinois. So instead of starting across the 50 in Racer territory, the Salukis are going to have to go 59 yards for a score here.
Second best starting field position for the Salukis in this first half, minus that starting drive at the Murray State 36, their last time out. Williams to the air, deep down the field, left side over the top of Jay Jones. First time he's been called today. He's been SIU's deep play threat this year.
And he was wide open. He had beaten the defender over there on the left sideline right in front of the SIU bench. They all got excited, and DJ Williams just sailed the ball over his head out of bounds.
The longest tenured Saluki on the SIU offense has been a part of SIU's roster since 2020, the turn of the decade.
You know, and in this era of the transfer portal, SIU has a lot of homegrown seniors on this roster.
Williams takes off on the ground, picks up 8 to bring up 3rd and 2. Speaking of seniors, DJ Williams, not a senior that's been homegrown by SIU, but another experienced member of the Salukis. OVC Freshman of the Year with Murray State before they made the transition to the MVFC a couple of years back. He was a standout, had a debilitating season-ending hand injury last year in his first go-about with the Salukis.
And I know he was looking forward to playing Murray State last season probably, and he gets his chance here on the homecoming in Murray, Kentucky.
He gets another chance on the ground. Williams makes one man miss, not the second. He got Walker out of his shoes, but Murray State recovers to bring up 4th and short.
He continued going to the left right there, Casey. I really thought he could have cut it back to the right. You see right here, I think he could have cut right there to the right a little bit more and maybe had a chance to get the first down.
Nick Hill likes the ability to draw teams offside when they're at midfield. With the rain, do you like the idea of potentially going for it on 4th and short?
You know what? Murray State's defense on 4th down, they've given up 7 out of 7. So, yeah, I might go for it here if I'm the opposition.
It looks like a timeout was called before the snap.
You know, opponents getting 100% conversion rate on 4th down against you this point in the season, 8 games into the season, is really unheard of. You know, you got 0 stops on 4th down and 7 attempts, and that's something that Murray State, it really comes down, honestly, to the defensive line where they've really just struggled. They've got young guys in there on defense, and, you know, they've got 5'10", 275, 6'1", 6'2", 290, but they really don't have the bodies on the defensive front that you need at this level of football. I mean, the Missouri Valley Conference football at the top end is like playing in the MAC or something like that. Like North Dakota State could go in to a mid-major FBS league and compete for championships.
Well, the Salukis are bringing their offense back onto the field. What does that last timeout tell you, knowing the numbers that SIU knows?
You know, Coach probably saw something that he liked out of the defense that Murray State showed and wanted to change the play.
Salukis are 3rd in the conference in 4th down conversion percentage. Williams over the middle, and it's caught. A decoy run, and it's hauled in. That's Lem Walsh. His first catch of the season sets up the Salukis inside the red zone.
Yeah, and like I said, Coach Hill called that timeout. He saw the defense Murray State was in. They were selling out on the run, so Walsh just slips out right there. Wide open over the top, and DJ Williams, you know, you're worried about keying on where's DJ Williams, what's he going to do with his legs, and then he just stops, lobs the ball up over the defensive line, and it's a big play for Southern Illinois into the red zone.
39-yard completion on 4th down. Up the middle, Chapman is stacked up. Back to the line of scrimmage.
And one thing Murray State has done defensively, they really have. We talked about it in the opening. They got to kind of junk things up and try to stop the middle of the field. So they're doing a lot of stunning and stemming and different things with their defensive linemen to try to clog up the middle. Southern Illinois has been able to get out on the edge. A lack of discipline on the perimeter and maintaining and setting the edge by the Murray State defense has cost them.
SIU has scored in each of its 2 red zone possessions, a field goal and a touchdown. Williams with the pocket collapsing. Williams on the ground inside the 5 before he was brought down from behind.
And that was a nice cutback by DJ Williams right there. Able to get about 5-6 more yards by the hard plant, the little juke, and you see Spencer Kahn go right by him here. And this is again a 5th-year senior out in the open field with a freshman coming up trying to tackle him. Watch this move right here, plant and go. Able to pick up another 5 yards with that one move.
Late in the second quarter, this has been something Jody Wright has talked about, wanting to get into halftime with momentum. No team in the MVFC gives up more points in the second quarter than Murray State. 115 second quarter points given up today. That number's going to go up. DJ Williams is into the end zone for the second time.
Yeah, and that time, honestly, it was his ball skills. DJ Williams faked the little pitch to the back coming across, heading out to the wide side of the field, and then cut it back up on the inside. You see the replay right here. Fakes the little front pitch there, and then just bowls over Rousey into the end zone. And Williams is a big athletic guy, Casey. Like, he's hard to bring down. You know, Spencer Rousey, Dylan Rousey's one of the best tacklers in the country, leads the nation in solo tackles. And, you know, if there had been 20 yards of field left, DJ Williams is running for 20 yards on that play.
Paul Halen caps off the drive that started at the 41-yard line. 3rd multi-rushing touchdown game of Williams' senior year with the Salukis.
And you see right there, he just bowls through him. I mean, that's tough. Rousey comes up, the junior transfer from Itawamba Community College, has really done an outstanding job for Murray State. But, you know, it's asking an awful lot. He's 6'1", 195. He's given up about 20, 25 pounds to DJ Williams. And Williams, with those powerful, explosive legs, just bowls right through him. Has now done that to 2 different racers to score both of his rushing touchdowns.
7 plays, 3 minutes, 50 seconds. The quickest scoring drive of the day for SIU. One thing to know, Rob, the Salukis did win the coin toss. They elected to receive. So Murray State in these final 4 minutes of the half have an opportunity to potentially double down. Something we've seen a lot of with those old Bill Belichick Patriots teams.
Yeah, a chance to go 2 for 1. It's really important. You know, if you're Murray State, you want to be in your 4-minute offense right here. You really want to go down the field, eat up the entire clock, and score with very little time left. And they've been able to sustain drives, Casey, so far. I mean, they've really done a nice job until they've gotten into the red zone.
That will make it 1st and 10 for the Racers.
So under the rain here in Murray has not been the most picturesque homecoming day here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Can the Racers race into the locker room?
3:56.
With some points before halftime.
Yeah, this, you know, there's a lot of football left to be played in this game, but this is a really crucial drive for Murray State. If they want to have any chance to pull off the upset here today over the number 17 ranked team in the country, they're going to have to get points on this drive right here.
This drive starts on the ground. There's Jawan Northington breaking loose into the secondary for a gain of 8.
That's a good start right there. Northington cuts back to the right, pushes it out, gets ahead of the sticks. Murray State only going to have 2 yards to go here on 2nd down.
Murray State does have 2 timeouts remaining. SIU has 1 left in this first half of play. Ogle to the air. Over top, there's Desjardins finds space in the secondary before being brought down by Pierre.
Good throw and catch that time right there by Ogle and Desjardins. You know, and Ogle is much better, Casey, when he's on the move. So rolling him out is a good idea because he can just play instinctual football instead of having to process things and think.
Lucas Desjardins had a crucial drop earlier in this first half. Picks up his second grab through the air. Ogle onto the ground. There's Northington breaking loose. Breaking tackles and picks up 12, his longest carry of the half.
Yeah, that's power running by Juwan Northington right there. Darius Cannon came in motion from the right side of the field to the left on the sprint, and it pulled SIU's defense out just a little bit. They lost some of their gap integrity, and Northington able to take advantage of it.
The Racers going quick. Darius Cannon gains 6.
Comes down to make the tackle.
You know, and ahead of the chains again with a little over 2 minutes to go in the half. Murray State pushing the ball down the field. Let's see what happens, Casey, as they get into the shorter field in the SIU end.
They've hit the 2-minute timeout here at Roy Stewart Stadium. The Racers have been knocking on the door all day. Can they finally walk through the door in the waning moments of the first half of play? Murray State sustaining another drive into SIU territory. The question is, can they cap it off in points? 2 drives on this side of the field. Both have ended in turnovers. Jim Ogle trying to play orchestrator for this Racers offense late in this half. On the ground, Juwan Northington tripped up after a gain of a couple to bring up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, that's 3 carries for 22 yards on this drive for Juwan Northington. The senior trying to make sure that homecoming in his senior season is not disappointing as Murray State goes quick here on 3rd down, Casey.
Bunched up at the line. SIU did this offensively earlier. There's jumping at the line. Did the Racers get an encroachment call?
Yeah, it was a great job by Jim Ogle that time, using his voice to get the Salukis to jump offside on the right side of that line.
5-yard penalty will result.
And the offside penalty.
That is an offside on Caden Reeves.
And you see the hard count right here. And Reeves just can't hold himself back. Just so excited trying to get the stop. Big first down for Murray State. 3rd
defensive penalty on the Salukis in this half. There's Baxter Wright on the ground getting a touch in this drive, and he's stacked up at the line. Led by both Reeves brothers.
And they've used Baxter Wright this season with a lot of running packages almost every time he comes into the game, except for once they got going at Youngstown State last week. He's going to run the football. Kind of like Florida used Tim Tebow his freshman year.
Ogle over the middle, nearly intercepted. That would have been the second pick that he would have thrown in the red zone. Cameron Kaysen almost pulled it down. Check that, Shug Walker almost pulled it down.
Shug Walker enjoying his homecoming because he started his career here at Murray State. Outstanding linebacker, will linebacker for Southern Illinois is Shug Walker, and he had a chance last year against the Racers. In his first game against his old team, he did get a pick, and he had a chance to repeat the feat right there.
Ogle, lots of pressure coming, slips it out to Northington. Couple blockers in front of him. Surges ahead to the 20. It's going to depend on the spot as to whether or not he gets enough for the first down. This may require a measurement.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be a few inches short here. But, you know, that's how you beat pressure. SIU bringing pressure onto Ogle. Ogle keeps his mind, stays calm, finds his senior running back out in the left flat, and Northington does the rest. And I believe it's going to be 4th and short here for Murray State.
Well, Rob, this is the same exact spot Murray State was in on its first drive of the game. 4th and inches, came up empty on a run package design. Does that factor into Jody Wright's decision-making here late now?
You know, I don't think so. You're down 17-0 against a team who's a 28.5-point favorite over you coming into the game. I think you go for it right here. You either go quick and you go with that tush push they did earlier, but you know what I would do here is if you have a 2-point conversion type play that you know is going to work, that's what you try to pull out. Make sure you get this first down for Murray State here. You have Northington in the backfield.
Ogle back to the line of scrimmage. It's a toss. Northington slips by the first wave. And he just got to the line. It was inches to get to the line. He got an inch and maybe a couple centimeters.
That was a good call that time by Jimmy Ogle, the offensive coordinator, as they looked like they were going for that tush push, and then Ogle turns and pitches it out to Northington.
Ogle, there's Hussein Simseer, the backup tight end, his first catch. Inside the 10 for the first time is Murray State.
Yeah, that's his 4th catch on the season, and Simseer is a big target at 6'5", about 255, 260. Ogle getting the ball out of his hands quickly to his tight end. Murray State inside the 10-yard line.
First and goal for the Racers. Inside 40 seconds to play in the half. Ogle underneath. And a catch made, a big stop by Jeremiah McClendon after Carter was there to haul in.
Yeah, Carter just ran a little quick hitch and just posted up right there at the 5-yard line. And it's going to be 2nd and goal for Murray State.
Well, what do you think about that? What do you think about the using of that timeout right there, that early in the drive, knowing you're most likely going to get 3 passes?
Yeah, you know, there's 28 seconds left in the half. That's a lot of time. You're down here. You're on the 5-yard line. You're 5 yards from the end zone. Everything in the playbook is open for them right here. You can run the ball because you're not going to be 20 yards downfield. So not much time is going to run off. If they run the ball and they get stopped short of the goal line, not much time is going to run off before they are able to get back up, line up, and ready to snap the football. So I think the entire playbook is open. 28 seconds is an eternity to gain 5 yards.
Are you surprised that Coach Wright used his last timeout with inside a half-minute to play?
No, I'm not surprised because, they put 3 seconds back up on the clock, so now there's 31 seconds left to go 5 yards, and they've worked this. These coaches are very detail-oriented on both sides. They've worked this situation throughout their practice time, you know, in camp this summer, and then all the way through to this game. They know exactly what they want to run here.
Off the timeout, Ogle slips it out toward the flat, and the Racers into the end zone before half. J.K. Carter, who else has it been today besides the senior?
Yeah, and he's making sure that, he's going to have a happy homecoming regardless. J.K. Carter putting in some work right now.
Jody Wright puts his finger into the air. They are going for one here.
Yeah, and that's the smart play. This is too early in the game. I don't care what the chart says about whether you go for 2 or go for 1. I don't think you chase points early in the game. It's 17. They make this. It's going to be 17-7. They're within 2 touchdowns of pulling off an upset.
Jack Tannehill knocks the extra point true. And just talking a bit earlier, too, Rob, we had alluded to doubling down end of the first half, start of the second half. They put themselves in the position to do so.
Yeah, as long as they come out. There's 27 seconds left. That's a long time for this SIU offense because these guys are explosive.
One thing to note, in the MVFC opener for the Racers here at Roy Stewart Stadium against Illinois State, Murray State scored with 34 seconds to play in the half before Illinois State would march down the field and pick up 3 points with less than a minute to play. That turned into being a complexion changer in that game.
And that's the thing here. You can't have that mentality that, well, we've scored and now we're going in and we're going to get the ball back, because you have to come out. First of all, you got a dangerous kick returner here. You got to take care of business on your kickoff. You got to maintain gap integrity. Murray State gave up a long kick return for a touchdown last week. So you got to maintain your integrity in your lanes, set the edge, not let anybody get outside of you. Here, you've got to take care of business, focus on the process, play it one play at a time. But this SIU offense is explosive. As Jay Jones, Fabian McCray's been outstanding today. Vincent Davis III can really get behind the defense along with Jay Jones. And DJ Williams is always dangerous with his legs.
They go the squib route. One of the up men for SIU is there. The hauled in, make sure nothing further happens. That was Aiden Quinn, who was there. They just take a knee.
Yeah, and that's, a short-handed guy, tight end, playing, got a big thing on his hand, broken hand. He's just out here. He's a football player. He doesn't care if it's raining. He's just securing the football. And then that was smart of him to get down quickly to save the seconds. Seconds are more important than the couple of yards he would have gained right here.
I did allude to that Illinois State drive, Rob. One thing that is different, Illinois State that game had 3 timeouts in their pocket. SIU's got 1 remaining in this half.
Yeah, but the clock will stop on a first down.
DJ Williams gains a couple yards.
And that play right there tells me SIU's comfortable going into the half with a 17-7 lead.
They are lining up pretty quick. Potentially one last play before half. And Williams just leans back and lets us go to half. Southern Illinois put up the first 17 points of the half. The 17th ranked team in the land allowed a late touchdown drive for Murray State. And at halftime, underneath the rain here at Roy Stewart Stadium, it's a bit of a ball game on homecoming day.
Yeah, and that drive right there by Murray State was a big time answer for them. Gives them some hope going into the locker room. Now they can go in there, coaches can evaluate, see what they need to do, make their adjustments for the second half. But they have to feel a lot better after that big touchdown catch by J.K. Carter than they did before.
Homecoming day for all. DJ Williams had a homecoming of his own in that first half with 2 rushing touchdowns. He's got the Salukis up 10 at half. Back in a moment from Roy Stewart Stadium, underneath the rain and the lights in Murray. Salukis and the Murray State Racers at Roy Stewart Stadium. It's been a rivalry that's been one-sided since 2002. 5 straight wins for the Salukis. They aim to keep their FCS postseason hopes alive. Can the Racers pull off a win on homecoming day? Second half comes your way next from Kentucky on ESPN.
Madness. Open your textbooks. Vicky, something wrong?
I just learned this new dance online, but I got nowhere to show it off.
I knew the perfect place to show your flow. Join thousands of screaming fans for an in-person experience you have to see to believe. March Madness.
Thanks, Professor. My March Madness dance is gonna be fire.
Maybe workshop that one.
They're breaking out the March Madness basketball commercials in November. That's a little bit of madness right now. Dancing in that rain.
The Murray State Racer Band putting on a show at halftime for the few people that sat out in the rain to watch them.
Well, we're not in the rain. Casey Rowland, Rob Crosser with you from Roy Stewart Stadium. Possibly an upset brewing here in Murray. Couple other possible upsets brewing across the league.
Yeah, shocking result right there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Indiana State knocking off South Dakota State 24-12. Pac-12, huge, but like you talked about, a possible upset. North Dakota State only up 8 at Youngstown State in the fourth quarter.
The undisputed #1 team in the country, the Bison, look all the part of another national championship run. South Dakota State, back-to-back losses since stormrolling into Murray 2 weeks ago. They lost to NDSU last week and then fell to the trees here today. South Dakota defeats North Dakota in the Battle of the Dakotas, and then Illinois State maintains pace for an FCS postseason push with a win over Northern Iowa. How does that reflect in the MVFC standings with the updated results? Well, at the moment, NDSU still leads the pack. South Dakota State takes a pretty big hit, joining a big cluster of teams with 2 losses in league play.
Yeah, and it's, really the top 7 in this league could be deserving of postseason bids, but there's gonna be a lot of cannibalization of the Missouri Valley Football Conference. SIU, Illinois State, Youngstown State, all fighting to get in that playoff spot.
UNI and Murray State, the only 2 remaining teams without a conference win. North Dakota is the last remaining team on Murray State's schedule to come to Roy Stewart Stadium 2 weeks from now. The Fighting Hawks are flying high with the tail end of the MVFC slate progressing now that we're into November. The rain is coming down, possibly a couple other rungs being brought down as we go throughout the night. Halftime continues here in Murray in just a few moments.
Center, featuring restaurants, entertainment, free trolley rides, and everything Arch Madness. The fun starts at 10 a.m. Thursday through Saturday and 8:30 a.m. on Sunday at host locations FanDuel Sports Network Live and Sports and Social at Ballpark Village. For more information, visit archmadness.com and click on Fan Hangout. We'll see you there.
Moments away from kickoff to begin the second half at Roy Stewart Stadium. It's got just like it was when we had our opening kickoff, except a lot more rain. Can Murray State rain on Southern Illinois' parade as they make a push for the FCS postseason? We hope you're staying dry. I know we are. Casey Roll, Rob Cross with you from Murray. Well, speaking of staying dry, Murray State looked like they were going to go dry into the second half without points. They had that big touchdown drive late, but Southern Illinois, lots of runs that lead to their lead where they're at.
Yeah, and really Murray State's done a better job with their run defense than they had coming into this game, holding SIU to around 90 yards in the first half, Casey. But it's been all DJ Williams. 62 yards rushing, 96 yards passing, a couple of big touchdown runs, the critical fourth down pickup where he threw it over the top, faked the run, then pulled up and threw it over the top for the long completion that led to more SIU points. And, you know, the Racers are in the game, but SIU with 17 big first half points.
Speaking of runs, let's take a look at some of those big SIU runs that were spearheaded by DJ Williams, orchestrating. Tame Mario got the real run game started.
Yeah, a little flip there, and here you're going to see DJ Williams just bowl over Clayton Ingram from Murray State to get in the end zone for their first touchdown.
Number one had his first. More on Williams in a moment, but Murray State, they've had some opportunities that they weren't able to cash in on early.
Yeah, an interception right there that turns into a long return for C.J. Parson and puts SIU in business at the 36-yard line. That's the big fourth down pickup I was talking about earlier, Casey.
And did I say that there were more touchdowns on the way for DJ Williams? Well, number one had his second, going red ahead with Dylan Rousey.
Yeah, this is 6'3", about 218, 220 pounds, just bowling over. That's a big human being right there.
Looked like it was going to be a blank sheet for the Racers heading into half, but Jim Ogle said not so fast.
Yeah, J.K. Carter really making a lot of plays in the pass game. Another senior, Jawan Northington, did the work on the ground on that big drive to close out the half for Murray State.
Game high 54 receiving yards for Carter as we take a look at her first half stats, powered by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yeah, and you know, it's the rushing yards, and it's all DJ Williams. 5.6 yards per play. Murray State done a nice job offensively, actually at 4.9 yards per play. Time of possession really in the Salukis' favor by 5 minutes. These two teams came into the game both averaging just over 27 minutes a game time of possession, so something was going to have to give here. SIU has controlled the football, 4 of 7 on third down, the big fourth down conversion. But you see Jim Ogle has moved the ball around, 123 passing yards, but some critical turnovers.
The Racers get the ball to begin the second half. Back in a moment here from Roy Stewart Stadium. You're watching the Missouri Valley Football Conference on ESPN, presented by State Farm. They're blasting Endor, pump it up over the loudspeakers at Roy Stewart Stadium. The fans trying to get pumped up no matter the rain. Rob Cross is pumped up. I'm getting pumped up. I'm Casey Roll. So glad you're with us. Big touchdown drive for the Racers before the end of half. They begin the second half with possession, and the opening kick to begin the second half goes into the back of the end zone. Second touchback for Paul Halen today. That brings out Murray State.
And this is going to be a big drive for Murray State right here. Try to establish something here early in the second half for our final 30 minutes of football.
Already a different complexion between today and last season's game. Murray State was blanked 62-0 in Carbondale to close the 2024 slate. The Racers are playing for a ranked win, which would be their first since 2021.
And, you know, this Murray State team, watching them on film, they're vastly improved from last year. It hasn't shown up in the win-loss column yet, but vastly improved.
They go on the ground to begin the second half. One of those players who were carryovers from last season's team that lost in that dramatic fashion to Southern Illinois, Jawan Northington, gains a couple.
Yeah, he's been a stalwart so far here during this game. Northington, that was his 10th carry, got about 37 yards on the day.
Ogle back on the ground. Northington is stacked up at the original line of scrimmage. A loss of a couple. Both Reeves brothers, along with Donnie Wingate, were up to the task.
Yeah, just nothing there for Murray State on that play. You know, you're playing with a really, you had a young offensive line to begin with. Then your starting center, Will Peroni, is out of the game. So A.J. Shadid is playing at 6'3", 275, but just a freshman. You know, and that experience on the offensive line is critical.
Third down and 10. Murray State was 2 for 5 on third in the first half. Northington unable to haul it in the flat. That may be a question both coaches will be posing in the second half with the rain coming down harder. How effective is the pass game going to be?
Yeah, you know, it's tough, but all these guys, you know, now back in my day a long time ago, you know, you didn't have the gloves with the extra tack, and you got special gloves for rain, and you got all this gear and everything, and they keep the balls as dry as possible. It's difficult, but you have to play the game. Both teams are going to play in the elements, and the elements are a major part of football.
Tom O'Hara's second punt. Tay Mario lets it bounce, and the Racers down it inside the 30. The 28's where SIU begins its first drive in the second half.
Yeah, going to end up with, what, a 43, 44-yard net punt right there, and he just rolled out. And you know, the young man, we have a flag on the play, but the young man from Melbourne, Australia, that Australian style kicking has really become popular in NCAA football.
During the kick, foul, face mask, return team, our penalty from the end of the run, down, Southern Illinois, timeout.
That 15-yard penalty does not impact the possession. It is SIU football, deep in their own territories, where they begin their first drive of the second in just a moment.
Caitlin Clark from the logo.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked! Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row.
From the logo.
State Farm with the assist.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up. And we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/be-a-racer.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Any last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
SIU's first possession of the second half begins on the ground. 4-yard carry for Chandler Chapman. A couple fans still left underneath the canopies here at Roy Stewart Stadium with all the rain that's been coming down since kickoff.
Yeah, it's coming down hard here in Murray, Kentucky right now. As you see, a good carry that time by SIU off the right side. Going to get close to a first down, Casey. But, you know, this is one of those deals where the fans, honestly, they're so important to the players, and we talk about that. But it really doesn't matter with what's going on the field. It's okay that the stadium is pretty much emptied out now.
3 runs to begin the second half for SIU. Robinson on the ground, gains 8. His second longest carry today, moves the chains.
Mom and dad and granny and little brother and little sister are all still here, and that's what matters to these guys.
DJ Williams on Murray State's homecoming day. The former racer on the ground gets into the secondary and lowers his shoulder for a gain of 15, his longest carry on the ground today.
Yeah, and a huge hole opened up by the SIU offensive line right there. Allowed DJ Williams to get off 7-8 yards before he encountered his first racer.
It's been somewhat of a circuitous journey for Williams to come back here to Murray. On the ground, there's Chapman for no gain. He got off to the races, so to speak, with Murray State. OVC Freshman of the Year in 2021. Injured his knee in the 2022 opener against Texas Tech. Broke out in 2023, and then last year, lots of expectations. The weight of the world on Williams' shoulder. Hand injury week 3 into the year. And this year, we're finally seeing the potential that he's been able to exude in the toughest FCS conference in the country.
And he's number 7 in the nation in total offense, number 5 in points accounted for coming into this game before those 2 rushing touchdowns. The guy has just had a fantastic senior season. It's good to see him healthy and being able to finish his career this way.
There's Chapman powering past the 50. So the question I pose to you is how aggressive teams are going to be throwing the football in the rain. SIU has done nothing but run to start the second half.
Yeah, but you know, that's their identity. 14th leading rushing offense in the country. That's the identity of this team, whether it's DJ Williams or whether it's Robinson or Chapman or LaShawn Lester.
Speaking of Chapman, that gains 6 on 3rd and couple to move the chains.
Get to the 40-yard line for a first down, Salukis.
Nick Hill in his 10th year leading the Salukis, calling the plays for the first time in a few years. Took over play calling after Brett Rowland took a job at Wisconsin. Downfield, Jay Jones out of his reach.
Yeah, good coverage that time by Marion Pons over there along the SIU sideline.
On the coverage there for your racers, Marion.
First pass of the half for Williams, who was nearly unblemished in his first couple drives.
And the way they've been running the football, I'm not sure why you even take a shot. Just Williams or Chapman or Robinson, just attack them on the ground right here.
They go back to the ground. Chapman is stacked up. Stopped behind the line for a loss of a couple. Brandon Mills and Jalen Walker were there.
That was good action by the defensive line there. Quick stun. I think Kobe Roberts also got in that play.
On 3rd and 11, they go to the security blanket. The tight end Aiden Quinn. The ball is out. The only question is whether or not he was down or if he lost the ball going to the deck.
No indication yet from the officials as they huddle up and have a conversation about it. You know, I believe he caught the ball, turned, and made a football move. We're a long way from the football, so unless he was juggling it, you know, I think that's a football play, and I believe the ball came out before he hit the ground. Jaden Walker in the huddle with the officials there for Murray State.
And how nice it would be to be a fly in that conversation with Gregory Gompf and the entire officiating crew.
Jody Wright wants the football, as you see him waving his hand there. Donned the rain jacket, had the polo on earlier, but he went in and put the rain jacket on at halftime.
Marion Pons and Jody Wright are excited. We await the official call and what is undoubtedly a game-changing ruling either way. Murray State has won one MVFC game since relocating to the conference 2 years ago. They're looking for their first ranked win in 4 years. This could go a long way to doing so today.
Field, as the ball was out, prior to the runner being down, the defense. Murray State.
It is Murray State football, and Aiden Quinn coughs it up.
Yeah, and from our vantage point, it's the right call. We're going to get a look at a replay, though, here. Get a closer look at it. Definitely has secured the ball and turned and made a football play. Conley Crossnoe comes in with his right arm, punches the ball loose, as you see it squirting free on the ground before Quinn goes down.
Did his best Peanut Tillman impersonation, knocking that out.
He went old school with Peanut Tillman. That's big time. Great Chicago Bear, correct?
We're not too far from Chicago, traffic permitting, of course.
I'll tell you, catch a train from Carbondale, Illinois, where Southern Illinois University is located, and you're right in Chicago.
I'll take your word for it. You've been around more than me. Ogle and the Racers are back on the field. On the ground, there's Washington turning upfield and toward the sideline.
Yeah, and if this is a dry track, Washington may still be running, Casey.
Was rained out of bounds by Pierre Jr. He was not a part of the Racers team that lost to the Salukis last season. He's making an emphasis in making his presence felt tonight.
Yeah, the freshman from Louisville has really done an outstanding job, especially the last few football games for Murray State.
Ogle empties the backfield. Quick screen to Cannon. Cannon along the edge. Not able to get much room. Jeremiah McClendon came up on the spot to make the tackle.
And that's the big-time Florida International transfer, big-time cornerback for Southern Illinois, making the sure-handed tackle. Cannon is a slippery SEC caliber athlete, and McClendon just locked him down right there.
Ogle behind Carter. That could have been picked.
If you're going to run that quick slant like that, you've got to lead the guy into his stride in the middle of the field. And that was a very, very dangerous throw by Jim Ogle.
He's had a couple balls that were nearly intercepted, had that big interception in the red zone in that first quarter.
That's a big third down for Murray State to try to keep this drive alive and take advantage of the turnover they forced.
Ogle, pressure coming downfield. It's incomplete. He had Desjardins behind everybody, but the slippery turf surface definitely played a factor there.
I think it did, and I think Ogle was unsure. I really believe he could have tucked the ball and ran and got us really close to the first down, and I think that indecision cost him on the errant throw.
Back-to-back drives that end in the Tom O'Hara punt.
And that one really, really hurts the momentum for Murray State after they forced the big turnover and a chance to get it right back.
This time a more favorable Saluki bounce toward midfield.
I'm out on the field.
SIU gets a stop on defense. Can they put some more points up on the board on the offensive side? Back in a couple moments. Second drive of the half for Southern Illinois. They came up with a big stop on defense to force Murray State's second punt of the half. DJ Williams and company back in the field looking to pad a 10-point cushion. He's on the ground, and the former Racer races ahead to the 40 where he stopped up after a gain of 4.
They mark him down. I agree with you, Casey. He was at the 40-yard line without question. The mark puts him at the 38, however. Fortunate mark for Murray State. DJ Williams, I think you're going to see a lot of him running the football here for the rest of the game.
SIU has ran 8 plays in this half. 7 have been runs. Williams going to the air underneath. There's Aiden Quinn. Had a fumble on the last drive, and he's ushered out of bounds deep in the Murray State territory.
Yeah, Quinn just came out right there, just off the line. A little roll out into the right flat. And Williams finds him quickly. Quinn turns it upfield. Not a Racer in sight.
SIU, for those who just now joined us, scored the first 17 points of the game. Murray State scored a touchdown with under a half minute to play in the first half to bring us to where we're at right now. On the ground, Robinson lowers the shoulder and picks up 10.
Yeah, great patience that time, Casey. Eddie Robinson gets the football and hesitates and lets his blockers get out in front of him, make a key block, so he's able to get that first down on the carry.
The Duquesne transfer, former second-team All-Northeastern Conference, initially recruited to Carbondale by Coach Hill, made a trip out east, decided to come back toward where he was initially recruited, and he's definitely paid dividends.
And there he is again, handoff. He bounces it out to the left side. Murray State did a nice job stunning that time, clogged up the middle. Robinson with good vision bounces it out to the left.
7.5 yards per carry leads the MVFC entering today. That not going for 7 yards, nowhere close. Stopped up after maybe a yard.
Might have gotten to the first down marker, though. Looks like he did as they're moving the chains.
Timeout on the field for an offensive injury.
Of a stoppage with an injury timeout.
This will be a full immediate timeout.
SIU is driving over halfway through this third quarter.
Then please turn your attention to the video board for today's Serve Pro Photo Restoration.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Any last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Southern Illinois University has a rich history and much more. Renowned for cutting-edge research, ranking among the top 4% in the country. Salukis achieve pride and glory, competing at the highest level. World-famous alumni across the globe. United in our mission with unstoppable momentum, igniting a bright future. This is a university ascending. We are Southern.
Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah, oh yeah, the beat's back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. Go hard.
First and 10 for the Salukis inside the red zone. DJ Williams is tripped up after a gain of 3. Conley Krosno was among many who were in on the stop for the Salukis. Rob, this is their 4th drive, which has gone into the red zone. Their previous 3 have resulted in points.
Yeah, they've been outstanding in the red zone all season long. And on this drive, it's really been Robinson and Williams. 5 carries for about 29 yards, and Williams, the 1 pass for 22 yards.
Murray State back on the ground. It's a very rare carry for Lem Wash. Remember, he had that 4th down conversion through the air, 39 yards and 4th and 1. He gains maybe a yard on his first carry.
And if you recall, that came off a timeout. Coach Hill called a timeout right before that. Got what he wanted out of the Murray State defense, and Wash made an outstanding play.
Williams going for it all. Jones in the end zone. Not able to high point it with tons of coverage. Brian Pulley was there stride for stride.
Yeah, and that's probably a tough play to make right now with the way the rain is coming down, and he had to turn back to the ball and look up on that fade.
Second field goal attempt of the night for Paul Halen. Knocked it in from 23 yards in the first half. This one a lot longer and a lot tougher with the rain and the wind.
And he's 8 of 9 on the season. His only miss was beyond 50 yards.
This from 35. The Dutch-born kicker. High snap. And able to knock a knuckleball through that just kept on tumbling through the uprights.
Yeah, that was a great job by the holder, Jace Clark, that time, Casey. As you were right, snap came in high. Holder did a phenomenal job getting the ball down, and a lot of people really don't understand how important that operation is from the long snapper to the holder. That's really what makes or breaks most field goal attempts.
And Paul Halen's a really interesting story. A guy who has traveled more than any other player on SIU's roster. Born in Utrecht in the Netherlands. He grew up playing soccer, didn't have a lot of football experience. He came to William Jewell College after COVID. He was recruited from Europe as a kicker during COVID when a lot of players weren't getting a lot of scholarship looks. He was recruited after posting some YouTube videos. The SIU coaching staff saw what they liked when he was playing Division II football. He's not just a kicker. Paul Halen apparently, now this is unofficially, but apparently has clocked as fast as a 4.7 40-yard dash time as a kicker.
You know, he's 6'6", 205. I mean, the guy's not your typical kicker.
Nick Hill said he's one of the fastest guys and most athletic players I've ever coached. Not just kickers, but players I've ever coached. And that's the kicker. Not just place kicking, but also handles punts. He's the kickoff specialist, Paul Halen. Hailing from the Netherlands. He knocks through another touchback. That's his 3rd of the game. And Murray State's 3rd drive begins at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and trailing by 13 right now at 20-7. If Murray State could manufacture a touchdown drive here, would really go a long way to lifting their spirits and giving them hope that they have a chance to pull off the win here.
Ogle starts this drive on the ground. Jawan Northington surges into the teeth of that front 7 for a gain of 3.
And Northington's the kind of back that as the game wears on and you get deeper and deeper into it, he's going to build in his strength and ability to run the football. You know, a compact guy, a little under 5'9", probably weighs 200. They list him at 217. He's probably 225. Tough to bring down there. You see him spin off that, Casey.
Going back in the ground, Northington breaks loose into the secondary. Jawan Northington is hauled down from behind. His longest run of the season sets the Racers up in SIU territory.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Casey. You know, the guy he gets better and better. If he gets carries, he gets his carries up. This offensive line is starting to do a pretty good job moving the defensive line around. They did a little pull right that time, a trap there, and Northington blows it up inside.
Ogle Down the sideline. Bit too high. He was going for Desjardins. Pass that was heavily impacted by Parson coming on that backside.
Yeah, and that's one where Ogle just lets the ball sail. You know, maybe it's the walk, maybe it's the rain, who knows. But the ball sails on him, and Desjardins is hung out to dry there as you see Parsons come in and just lay the wood to his back.
That last run for Northington, by the way, 34 yards. Ogle empties out the backfield. They go on the ground. Darius Cannon zips his way closer to the line of scrimmage to bring up third and a couple.
And that was Baxter right in at quarterback. You know, there's a read option right there. And it looked like, you know, Wright held it in Cannon's belly as Cannon's coming around. And he holds it in his belly for a second. He could have pulled it and ran, and then he's getting downfield to try to get a block.
Fourth solo tackle for Chris Presto today. Wright stays in the game with the backfield empty. Late toss. Northington cuts it toward the sideline. Enough to get the first down. The ball came out as he went out of bounds. Northington looked like he also just pancaked a Murray State assistant on that sideline.
Yeah, running hard. Good late toss that time. See Baxter Wright running the option here. Tosses it out. A good long toss to Northington. He gets out of bounds, clearly out of bounds before he loses the ball. You know, and that was Colin Bohannon getting out there to stop him. Northington, if Bohannon's not there, Northington could have turned it up the field.
Wright staying in the game. They stay on the ground. Jordan Washington stopped at the line.
Yeah, that right side of the SIU defensive line did an outstanding job there, walling off and keeping Washington from being able to bounce it outside.
Donnie Wingate, the former Lindenwood Lion and Oklahoma State Cowboy, was there to rein him in.
You know, and Wingate's a guy who can really get after the quarterback. Got 3 sacks on the season. Outstanding defensive player.
Washington along the edge. Turns what would have been a loss into a gain of a yard before being ushered out. Brings up third and long.
Yeah, and that's McClendon over there at that cornerback spot. Defining the edge of the football team for his defense. Did not allow Washington to get outside. You know, and a great cornerback right there. And just does his job, and that's the most important thing. If you got 10 guys doing their job and one doesn't, you got problems.
Third down has been an issue for Murray State this season. Right to the air for the first time. Washington had a little surge of energy before being brought down 3 yards shy of the marker. There is a flag down.
Yeah, they went with a little screen out in the left flat. I think you're probably going to see a hold here. We'll have to wait and see what they called. Flag went down in that area where there were about 3 or 4 blockers out there. Looks like we have an injured player on the sideline, Casey.
Is a hold.
And I can't tell who the Saluki is that's down. They're helping him up right now.
That's Vontrell Shaza, who's back on his feet. Nice to see Shaza, the Toledo transfer. 4 sacks entering today, second most in the MVFC. He has not been able to get to Ogle or Wright today.
They really haven't called his name at all today. Had 2 tackles and a sack last week in their big win over UNI. Murray State with third and half a mile. 3rd and 17. Casey, I don't know what play you dial up here, but I would think Darius Cannon or J.K. Carter need to be involved.
Ogle back in the game after sitting out the last few snaps. Salukis bring 4. Ogle is dropped. Donnie Wingate was there. And the last thing Ogle could take just happened there. The Salukis push the Racers out of field goal range.
Yeah, that definitely takes him out of field goal range, and then O'Hara's going to come on to punt. You know, and he's been outstanding, as you see the replay here, and just good push. Wingate pursuing and just staying with it till he drags him down, but a great push by the SIU defensive line that time.
4th sack of the year for Donnie Wingate, putting him in a tie with his aforementioned teammate Shaza for second most in the league.
And O'Hara's put 8 inside the 20.
Well, technically that's inside the 20. It just goes out past to the 20-yard line. Big stop on defense for the Salukis. They force a punt, and they force that clock to continue winding down inside a minute to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, long drive by Murray State right there. You know, and when you're in this situation, you're down by a couple of touchdowns, down 13. You know, that long drive where you come up with nothing actually kind of hurts you.
Murray State's felt it on both ends today, Rob. Those drives inside the 25 that end in turnovers, and now a drive that, with that self-inflicted holding penalty, resulted in a punt.
And they had him out in space. They would have had, you know, a short yardage situation if not for the hold.
McRae in motion across the line of scrimmage. Robinson on the ground, sheds a tackler, and he spins ahead past the 30 to gain 11. First down for the Salukis. 4th carry today for Robinson, over 10 yards.
You know, and he's just a veteran guy that gets out there, is a patient runner, makes the right read at the line of scrimmage, forces his way forward for about 11 yards for a first down.
That takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. One scoring drive in this 3rd frame. A field goal from Paul Halen ends 3 quarters in the books. Southern Illinois is looking to take Murray State's opportunity for an upset away from them. Last 15 of regulation. Come your way next from Roy Stewart Stadium. Returns is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Start of the fourth quarter here at Roy Stewart Stadium. The 17th-ranked Southern Illinois Salukis are hoping to hold off the Murray State Racers on what could be an upset bid. The former racer DJ Williams starts this drive with a carry of 6.
Yeah, and that'll put him up to 88 yards. And I would expect on this drive and here in the fourth quarter, unless something crazy happens, you're going to see a lot of DJ Williams and Eddie Robinson running the football.
To 14-50.
You hear the stoppage in play. Aiden Logan a bit slow getting up the JUCO transfer, primarily a right guard last year. One of the few offensive players, Aiden Logan, who was a starter in last year's matchup against Murray State in Carbondale, a 62-0 win. We had a chance to talk with Salukis head coach Nick Hill a couple days ago in our production meeting. He said the most impactful player in that game and in preparation for this season may not even touch the field ever again in any capacity as that run from Robinson gets into the Murray State side of the field. Michael Lindauer, a graduate offensive assistant, had the biggest game of his career and arguably the biggest little cameo of anyone's career. One start in his career came as an offensive graduate assistant last year. 5 SIU quarterbacks went down with injury, including DJ Williams. Lindauer threw 7 touchdowns in the season finale against the Racers in Carbondale.
Yeah, big-time effort. You can't make that up. Like, if you wrote that as a script, you know, nobody would buy it. You can't make it up. But a big-time effort from him in that shellacking of Murray State last season.
You think of those Noah Gray games with the New England Patriots, 4 touchdowns and never to be heard again. But Lindauer, brought back as a graduate offensive assistant, is always on Nick Hill's hip. You saw him in picture right there, always walking side by side with him on offense. And Coach Hill even gave Lindauer a lot of credit, saying DJ Williams' breakout year this year is a breakout in part because of what he's doing, but a lot of it may not be how successful it has been if it hasn't been for Lindauer being that quarterback guru he's been this year.
Yeah, he's certainly done an outstanding job because DJ Williams has been one of the better players in the country. And in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, I mean, there's a host of guys that are going to be, you know, up for top awards and All-American honors at the end of the season, and DJ Williams is right there in the mix with any of them.
We also did have a chance to talk with Coach Hill, and the running joke is that if Williams ever gets to 6 touchdowns this year, they're going to pull him because they don't want to have Michael Lindauer's 7 passing touchdown mark touched before the end of the year.
Yeah, Lindauer will be all over that. He'll be subbing him out. But, you know, one of those things, and I wonder, I wish I could have asked the question. I wonder if Lindauer felt, you know, like the coaching aspect, getting away from the game and starting his coaching career, helped him become a better quarterback when he got that opportunity after everybody went down.
SIU burns a timeout. They've got 1 remaining. We'll step aside. More on Lindauer in a couple moments here at Roy Stewart Stadium.
Caitlin Clark from the logo.
You know, life would be easier if I could do everything from the logo.
Allow me to assist.
Pickles. It worked. Buckets. Now that's a tomato. Sheboygan.
The answer is Sheboygan.
They match. P-E-Z-O-L. Bottom row.
From the logo.
State Farm with the assist.
We are learning how to save lives while making lifelong friends. We are changing the world from the ground up. And we are receiving a nationally recognized best value for our education. We are unleashing our creativity, and we are making our families proud.
How are we able to do all these things?
Simple, because we are racers.
We are racers!
Is there a racer inside you? Let's find out. Visit murraystate.edu/be-a-racer.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like getting Bateman when you need the protection of Batman.
Easy, Batemobile, not too fast, baby.
Any last words? Just one. It's a long one. Dermatologist.
That's why you need the real deal.
Look out! That's Batman!
Go home, Bateman. Do a podcast or something.
That's hurtful.
So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
SIU still driving at the Murray State 40-yard line as we approach 12.5 minutes to play in regulation. DJ Williams, as he's done all night, tucks it, runs, and flips it down the sideline. Touchdown, Salukis! Second catch of the day for Lem Wash. First time Williams has found the end zone through the air.
And that one, Casey, again, coming out of the timeout, you're expecting, and I said it earlier, you're going to see a heavy dose of DJ Williams running the football for the rest of the day. They split wash out, and DJ Williams looks like he's being patient, trying to pick his spot to get the first down with his legs, and then he stops right short of the line of scrimmage and throws it over the top to a wide open Wash. And that's a lack of discipline and eye discipline for Murray State on defense.
6 plays, 80 yards. Capped off with a Wash touchdown. Halen knocks in the extra point. Have yourself a homecoming day, DJ Williams. Passing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, then we're going to see the replay. And just watch how it looks like he's being patient. He's trying to let his blocker get out. Then he pulls up just short of the line of scrimmage. You see the stick there.
What can't DJ Williams do? He's turning heads and he's turning the tables on what would have been a Murray State comeback. SIU pulling away here in the 4th. Former racer DJ Williams has continued to pour it down on Murray State. 6 plays, 80 yards, just over 3 minutes. 3 total touchdowns for Williams today, 2 on the ground and 1 through the air. Paul Halen puts it in the air short. And a fair catch signaled by Brooks Kleinpeter at the 29-yard line. It's where the Racers begin their first drive of the fourth with time not on their side.
No, DJ Williams really, I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely, like it's not the nail in the coffin at this point with 12:22 left in the game. And it's still like it's a 3-score game. So it's still within the realm of possibility, but that's pretty close to a nail in the coffin. DJ Williams that time with the 40-yard touchdown pass over the top to a wide open wash running into the end zone.
There were questions about who was going to take a majority of snaps in the game today. Baxter Wright begins this drive in the gun. He had the majority of snaps in Murray State's last drive. He starts in the ground and bullies his way forward. The ball is out. The ball came loose on the tail end. And the Salukis look like they may have recovered. Here's the call. And Caden Reeves comes up with a loose ball. It's SIU ball on the Murray State end of the field.
Yeah, and Baxter Wright, the redshirt freshman, running the option right there. Faked the pitch, tucked it up inside, and I believe he was just fighting for extra yardage, trying to help his team, fighting for extra yardage, and just loses the ball. You see there, he's got Salukis around him. He's just fighting. And I'm not sure that ball was out before he hit the ground that time. This is a better angle right here. You're going to see definitely out as he's fallen over Pierre Jr. Loses the football.
Looks like Jody Wright wants him to look at this.
Timeout. Murray State.
Yeah, initially the first angle, I thought it looked like he might have been down, like his backside might have touched the ground before he lost. But when we saw that reverse angle from the back, I think there's clearly space. He's fallen over Pierre Jr., fighting for extra yardage, and just loses the ball.
That was Jake Perella who jarred it loose after Vinny Pierre made the initial stop. And we had just talked about it too, Rob, a couple seconds prior to that fumble as Murray State run out of time, run out of options. There wasn't quite the final nail in the coffin, but you get the sense a couple more minutes taken off the clock and even 3 points and a field goal. That could very well do it.
Three points would most likely do it. You're trailing 30-7. I think that would pretty much do it. If SIU could eat a couple of minutes up here and then score, it'd be ball game, lights out for Murray State. But you never know what happens with the rain coming down like it is. SIU could have a big turnover.
Flags fly before anything can happen.
False start. Offense. First down.
Yeah, not a good start to the drive for SIU, but you got the ball, you just force a big turnover. You have the ball in Murray State territory to start your drive, but now you got to go 15 yards to get that first down.
Each side does have a fumble lost per half now. Earlier was Aiden Quinn in the first half, and then moments ago Baxter Wright. Salukis on the ground to begin the drive. Chandler Chapman is stacked up and bullied back by Conley Crosno for a loss of a couple.
Yeah, Crosno did a nice job getting inside there. Big time play. The young man from LaRue County, Kentucky, Hodgenville.
A loss of 6.
Crosno was a big-time quarterback in high school. Has 6 or 7 LaRue County high school football passing records.
Into the flat, Vincent Davis's name is called for the first time in this half. Nice recovery by the Racers.
Once again, behind the line.
Not quite the Mike linebacker position where you're the quarterback of the defense, but you can definitely read a lot of things having that quarterback mind, seeing it from the outside.
No question. And, the guy just wants to be a football player. He just wants to get on the football field. So he'll do whatever it takes in order to get playing time here at Murray State.
3rd and 19. Williams going to the air. Downfield. McCray In coverage with Esplin, comes up empty, and a quick 3 and out for the Salukis.
And I think McCray misread the ball a little bit that time. I thought he stopped and decided to jump for the football a couple of more steps, and he might have that one for a touchdown. But that was a good stop by the Murray State defense. That keeps them in the ball game with 10:54 to go.
Well, we've seen Paul Halen do just about everything. Here's the third part of his game as the punter. Kickoff specialist, place kicker, and now punting. Darius Cannon watches it take a bounce before it skitters out shy of the 5. They'll mark it down at the 8.
Yeah, and that's a great job by Halen to pin them inside the 10-yard line.
On the field.
Time is quickly running out for the Racers. Can they get something going with inside 11 to play? Murray State begins its 4th drive of the second half with their backs facing their own end zone. And Baxter Wright begins his 2nd drive in a row.
Yeah, Halen with his 7th punt killed inside the 20.
The triple threat Paul Halen. Meanwhile, run of about 9. Brings up 2nd in the yard. That was Jordan Washington inching closer to the line.
Baxter Wright in the game still at quarterback, trying to implore his team to hurry up, get off the pile, and get up to the line of scrimmage. Let's go. We're trailing 27-3. We've only got about 10-15 left, Casey.
2 timeouts to work with. Wright on the ground. Picks up the first down, picks up 5.
Good decision right there, running the option. Darius Cannon comes across. Wright puts it in his gut and then pulls it at the last second and gets the first down for Murray State.
Are you surprised that Jody Wright's going with Baxter Wright this late in the game?
No, not at all, because his plan was to use both quarterbacks. And, and you want to see what they all have to do. And Baxter Wright did a nice job. He earned playing time when he got his opportunity at Youngstown State. And, if he lost that fumble, but if he doesn't lose that fumble, they may still be driving from the last drive.
8 of 9 through the air, a passing touchdown, also had 30 yards on the ground.
The guy hadn't played a lot, hadn't thrown a lot of passes, but he's completed 83% of his passes and has not thrown a pick.
Right. On the ground, gets the edge, and runs into the linebacking core of Pierre and Wingate.
Yeah, and Murray State running this little option package with Baxter Wright in the game, you know, and I think they've got SIU a little off balance right now.
Can expect a lot of runs when Baxter Wright's calling plays, and that couldn't be any more of a complexion change. Jim Ogle throws more than any quarterback in the MVFC, and you see it here, the comfortability of playing a heavy run-style offense with Wright calling plays.
And if you're an offensive lineman, you love running the football because you just want to go hit somebody. Pass protection, you're stepping back, you're trying to move your feet.
Speaking of moving feet, what a job that was with Darius Cannon on the edge. Met immediately along the sideline by Cameron Kaysen.
Yeah, big time hit by Cameron Kaysen. Comes up and just explodes on Darius Cannon and wraps him up as well. It's his 11th tackle on the season. Also has an interception.
All around athlete Cameron Kaysen.
Big time hit right there.
His high school's triple jump record total. 40.8-inch vertical jump, also a club soccer champion before coming to SIU. Speaking of getting quarterbacks another look, here's the first look in the second half we get to see of Caleb Bailey, who gets it up for the first down.
And Bailey has a lot of potential. They list him as 6'2", 205, but you know he's probably 215, 220, and very, very athletic and fast.
He had a run in the first quarter, but that was his first time taking snap as the starting QB, or QB1 on the drive. He goes back in the ground, gains 6.
Yeah, and he's a true freshman from Houston, Texas. You see he got a lot of energy bouncing around, getting his team up, ready to go. You know, and this is one of those deals, you get 4 games, you know, so you're not burning a red shirt by using him right now.
And that is something, too, when we talk with Tim Hill, the SIU head coach. You see some flags after the play, most likely in sportsmanlike conduct. Big reason why we'll most likely not see Jake Quinn. Check that Jake Curry play for the Salukis, trying to maintain that redshirt eligibility.
Yeah, because he's already played in 4 games, and if you get him out there and you burn the red shirt, you know, and you're hoping, I mean, if you're on SIU's coaching staff, you're hoping and praying that DJ Williams stays healthy all season, because he gives you a chance to not only make the playoffs, but this Southern Illinois team could really make a run in the playoffs, Casey.
And sportsmanlike conduct penalty on Caden Reeves. That's his first of the game. He has 2 tackles for loss tonight. Tack on 15 yards to the end of Northington's run. Bailey. Over the middle, it's picked. Second interception of the day for the SIU secondary. And a massive hit on the return from Desjardins, but it is an interception. C.J. Parsons, second of the game.
Yeah, ill-advised throw, and I really think the one that really laid the wood, Caleb Bailey, was flying over there. You know, it's just an ill-advised throw right here. Nothing there. Then you see him come over and really, you know, just launches into Parsons.
Yeah, he turned on the burners and made sure he finished the play he started.
You know, and if you're on his football team, you like to see that. You like your quarterback turn the ball over. Well, go do something about it. And that's exactly what he did.
That'll earn you some integrity points.
100%.
Williams remains in the game. And SIU remains on the ground. Most likely going to see a lot of that with inside 6.5 to play. Gain of 5 to begin the drive. That was Eddie Robinson continuing to churn the legs forward.
7-yard line. Bring the second down, 3 to go.
And that's another turnover for Murray State in the red zone. And now SIU's got a chance to just bleed the clock. And like you said, you're going to see a lot of handoffs, a lot of DJ Williams quarterback runs.
Williams back on the ground, and that picks up a first down after a gain of 6.
And that's SIU, the run game. We talked about it off the top of the broadcast. 14th ranked rushing offense in the nation, and you're going to see a lot of it here for the next 5.5 minutes.
Well, for a few moments, it did look like Murray State was going to be knocking on the door of potentially picking up its first ranked win in 4 years, but barring something catastrophic, it does look like SIU will maintain its course for its first 9-win season since 2009. Back on the ground, a gain of about 8 for Chapman. Check that, Robinson.
Yeah, and that's going to keep the clock running. They're going to bleed it down to, should take it down to 1 second on the play clock before they snap the football. That time it was about 3 or 4 seconds. But, they're just running out the clock right now with just over 4.5 minutes to go and the game well in hand. This Saluki team has a chance. Every week is a playoff game because they drop another game or two, then they're going to be on the outside looking in most likely.
Upcoming games for SIU does not get any easier, battling Youngstown State, who took North Dakota State all the way to the brink today. USD and Illinois State follow it up.
Yeah, so all 3 winnable remaining games, but not gimmies by any stretch of the imagination.
Murray State does get a slight reprieve, and I say slight reprieve because they've got UNI and then Indiana State on the docket, but those Sycamores may not be pushovers after knocking off SDSU today.
South Dakota State a couple of weeks ago, South Dakota State came in here to Murray, Kentucky, ranked number 2 in the country, and now back-to-back losses, losing a game to Indiana State today, almost an inexplicable loss.
Back-to-back L's for the Jackrabbits after knocking out these Racers 2 weeks ago, as the clock continues to run with Robinson picking up a yard. The North Dakota Fighting Hawks look to be the stringiest remaining opponent for Murray State. Speaking of surprises, not too many people would have expected North Dakota and North Dakota State to be the remaining undefeated teams in the league.
Yeah, right, sitting there at the top of the standings. It's I'll tell you one thing, it's just big-time football in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, especially when you head north into the Dakotas. That North Dakota offense is just so explosive. North Dakota State controls everything. They're just heads and shoulders better than everybody else, I believe, this season. But that North Dakota offense is explosive enough to be able to compete.
Three-yard gain, and it brings up 3rd and 4. The ball in midfield. Should definitely see this play take us to the 2-minute timeout, if not past the 2-minute timeout.
About a 2-second differential in the clock, so they are going to have to snap the ball. They're not going to snap the ball. They're going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Southern Illinois. So second charge, timeout and a half. This will be a 30-second time.
One timeout left for Coach Hill, and gives us an opportunity to take a look at this Murray State team here, Rob, where earlier in the year, Jody Wright talked about this team being in a lot worse position than it was even a week or so ago. He had said that when asked earlier in the year about the state of the Murray State football program, his agent had told him not to take this job when he first got to Murray. And he has said there have been noticeable incremental improvements week in, week out. Where's the building block that you've taken away after a game like today?
He's building his house, okay? He's got the foundation laid. All these freshmen, over 50 freshmen on this roster, getting a lot of playing time, and they have a lot of very promising future in the game of football do most of these freshmen for Murray State. You have to grow your linemen. Okay, the great coach Denver Johnson once told me, it was big time. He coaches at Tulsa still, but was the head coach at Murray State, head coach at Illinois State. It was an Oklahoma Sooner. Denver Johnson told me one time, you have to grow your linemen. You get them in as freshmen, and you got to grow them over the course of their careers, and that's what Murray State has to do. They've got a foundation laid. This program has improved dramatically since last season. I believe this team for Murray State probably beats last season's team by 3 or 4 touchdowns, Casey.
Murray State does force a 4th down. We've hit the 2-minute media timeout here at Roy Stewart Stadium. Final couple moments coming your way next. Sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. On Murray State's homecoming day, the former racer DJ Williams accounted for 3 total touchdowns, 1 through the air, 2 on the ground. He was everything that SIU has envisioned him to be in his first full-time year as a starter in Carbondale. They're going for it on 4th down. They pick up the 1st down. And you can expect a few kneel downs to come following that run from Robinson.
Yeah, and a great homecoming back here to Murray, Kentucky for DJ Williams, where he started his career in 2021, as we said, as the OVC Freshman of the Year. Also a great homecoming tonight for Shug Walker.
And that is one thing, too, we didn't get a chance to talk about, Rob. Shug Walker and DJ Williams each in the portal at the same time. Williams was asked about Shug Walker and his impact and his decision-making progress. He said for a time being, wherever Shug was going to go, I was going to go. And it happened to be that Shug Walker made his decision days before DJ Williams did. They both found their way to Carbondale, and they both hope to find themselves in the FCS postseason later on in the year.
Yeah, and that's 2 guys that have really been key players for this Southern Illinois run this season. And that Walker is just a football player, got a hard-nosed mentality, and DJ Williams has that same old-school hard-nosed mentality on the offensive side of the ball.
Both discussed their options. They both most likely happy where they ended up with how this season's gone. Top 20 ranking entering today. And a 6th victory, a 3rd conference win, awaiting 1 final kneel down. And a win streak for the Salukis against the Racers is extended to 6 games. It's been since 2002 since the Racers defeated the Salukis. That streak and drought is going to continue until at least 2026.
Yeah, and this Murray State football team has improved. losing this game by 27-7. Last year they got blown out by this same Saluki team 62-0, but still it's not showing up in the win column, and it's just a slow process to build a program.
Jody Wright and Nick Hill exchanging some pleasantries. Coach Hill and Coach Wright talk about the immense respect they've got for each other.
And there you see Jody Wright greeting DJ Williams, and Coach Wright, when he heard about the Murray State job, he was really excited, and then he saw DJ Williams had already jumped in the portal and was going to be gone, and he was a little disappointed in that.
A homecoming to remember for Williams and the Salukis. That'll do it for us from Roy Stewart Stadium on a rainy night in Murray. For Rob Cross and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Casey Roll saying so long. Final score tonight, SIU 27, Murray State 7.
DJ Williams, receiver, in the end zone for a touchdown, SIU.